Welcome to Italy. Yes, we're on a little soiree. We're away in Italy, near Venice at the Marco Polo airport. And of course, Italy is the home of suave and debonair and stylish things. You've got your Ducatis, Ferraris and everything else. And of course, talking of suave and debonair, that's myself, of course, who's a multilinguist. And that's why I'm here. Of course, we've got there, arrivederci, ciao mamma, bella bella, cappuccino franchititore. Impressed with that then, or what?
No, not particularly at all. I'm not impressed with any of that. Any brat could have made that lot up. I think he's had too much of that venal collapse on the airplane, you know, that's his problem. But he's right, Italy is the home of style and flair and fashion, and lots of the motorcycle clothing that you're wearing back in the UK starts life here. In particular, motorcycle boots. And it's a fact that the top 10 selling brands of boot right across Europe are all made here. Not just in this country, but in the same factory just outside Venice. And that factory are now producing their very own brand, and it's got its own name, and we're going to show you exactly how they do it.
And this is where it all happens, at the factory. And these are the boots in question. They're called Oxtar, and they're brought into the UK through a company called Nevis Marketing down in Dorset. Those guys indeed bring in all sorts of other products. They bring in another boot called Gianni Falco. They bring in Weimar helmets, Spyball alarms, Risha clothing, in fact all sorts of different brands, but it's these we want to focus on. This is the Oxtar boot that is a safety boot, a safety motorcycle boot, because it's CE approved. And I suppose we want to find out how they produce this boot, so the best place to be is indeed in the factory here. So let's go and have a look inside. If I could get the door open. Oh Paul, let me in, will you? Please.
So this is where the whole procedure starts, but you don't just decide you're going to make a new boot and put it straight into production. You have to make samples and test boots, and you give them to people like motorcycle racers, very good motorcycle racers. For the past couple of years here they've been using Pier Giorgio Bontempi, a world-class rider, and they've been using the feedback that he's given them to help them develop the boot. And these are a pair that were worn recently by Casoli in the World Supersport Championship. And there's not a lot left of the toe sliders there, so you can see how hard these riders actually test the boots. And these have been down the road at excess of 250 kilometres an hour, which is 130 or 140 miles an hour or something. And they've stood up to the test. So how do we go about making these test boots, if you like, the prototypes, the samples? Well, it all starts with a drawing, an idea, if you like. Somebody draws it down, then it's fed into this machine, which is a computer machine, a CAD machine, CAD, computer-aided design. And when he's quite happy that he's got all the information, everything's spot on in the computer, he presses a button. But it doesn't print out a drawing. If you like, it's not a print button, it's a cut button, because that's connected to a machine which then cuts the patterns out in this material, which is a kind of very hard sort of fibre material. And it's cut out extremely accurately with this, and then that goes on to another section where a man lays this over a piece of leather, and he'll cut it out, get it all very neat, and finish up with like a big jigsaw, if you like, and then that goes into another section where the girls are, and they're stitching it up. And if there's girls in there, that's probably where you'll find Wayne.
Yes, I am indeed over here with the ladies. I don't know what he's trying to say, with this very, very involved jigsaw puzzle. Because, I mean, if you just look at all the various components on this trolley here, I mean, you've got the plastic bits that go with the boot, the zipper, of course, and the labels, emblems. You've got the outer material, but not to forget, you've got all the padding and all the wadding on the inside and the inner liner. It's a seriously complex piece of equipment. How on earth these machinists work out what bit goes where, I do not know. Certainly if I was making it, you could rest assured it'd be a very strange person who'd fit my boot when it's finished. And in fact, there's a lady over here, Katia, who is producing a boot at the moment, and when she's finished, we may ask if she can perhaps put this one together for us. And I might ask her actually if she could perhaps do the hem on my trolleys, which fell down only yesterday. Just before Katia actually sews the pieces together, she needs to prepare the edges. For example, this has been done, it's called skiving, and they sort of flatten the edges so that when they go together and the sewing and the stitchings on the edges, they're not rough, they're not uncomfortable, making the boot a nice comfy fit for you, the user. Also, for example, here, this material is exactly the same as in the red, but they thin it. So these points here are nice and flexible, again, for the comfort for the user. So this is Katia hard at it now, stitching together a pair of boots like this. Now, I don't know about yourselves, but I find it quite remarkable. I was obviously very ignorant because I assumed, because of the accuracy in all the stitching on a pair of boots that in actual fact they were done by robots. Well, this has obviously quashed that myth because it's hand done by obviously somebody who's very, very skilled. Mind your fingers now, love. It is remarkable. In fact, would you believe it takes near on an hour to just stitch together the top of a pair of boots? And then obviously there's more to come when they make the rest of the boot. It is very, very labour intensive by skilled workmen.
Well, the boot that we've been looking at up to now is the Oxtar boot, which is this new brand now, this new CE approved boot. But while they're manufacturing that, they're continuing to make boots for loads and loads of people all over the world. This is a production line, just one of several, making another motorcycle boot for somebody else. I don't know who this one's for. But would you believe that on this production line alone, 800 pairs of boots a day come off the end of it? 800, eh? That's a lot of boots, and believe me, that's no mean feat. Feet, boots. You get it? Feet? No, never mind.
No mean feat. I can't believe it. I mean, he can't even sack his own scriptwriter because it's himself. Anyway, let's move on a bit. That is indeed the one of 3 production lines that is used by these guys. That one there produces the boots for other motorcycle brands. Then, of course, you've got the place that produced the Oxtar boots specifically for that one make of boot. Then you've got the production line that produced these safety boots. You see, because these guys produce safety boots for everyone. Look at this. This is a walking the beat policeman's boot. Then you've got the motorcycle policeman's boot. Then look at this. This is fantastic, this. This is a boot that's been tested with a chainsaw. Remarkable. Why someone wants to try and cut his foot off, I really do not know. Then this is a fireman's boot for the UK market, specially designed to conform to the requirements of the UK firemen. Safety wear, safety footwear is what these guys are specialists in. And that's where it comes into this, the boot for motorcycle use. Safety boot for motorcycle use. Unique one in respect. It's the only one of its kind that is CE approved. It's got a special torsion control system that allows the movement of the boot, limited movement of the boot, for your own safety should you have a misfortune. So it's quite unique in that respect, and it's tested by a government body so that it does comply to EE regulations. Fantastic. Now I need to go and see if Katia has indeed finished the pair of boots we gave her earlier on today. So I'll see you in a while.
She has indeed finished stitching it up. There it is now, with all its plastic on, all its bits and pieces, its lining and everything, and it looks like a boot, but it's got no sole, man, at all. No sole on the bottom. So we need to get that fitted now. That involves a last and all sorts of other things, another complicated process. And for that, we have another production line.